Hello, 8th graders. If you are watching this video, that means that you received an email from me and you have selected into the science fair over the History Day project, and this is your first assignment down that route. This is coming at you with 3 pieces and 2 separate videos. This video is about the hypothesis and prediction. The next video that you should watch after this is the video about the procedure. First thing that you need to know is that both of these things, prediction, hypothesis, and the procedure, those are all due on Friday. On Friday, we're going to have a workshop day where for both history and science class, you're going to be coming to my room and we're going to be workshopping through all 3 of those pieces. So I know that that's a really quick turnaround, but you need to bring a draft. I can't overemphasize that enough. As long as you have just punched out an idea for what you think that you're going to be doing for your procedure, and these are really short anyways, they're like a sentence, then you're going to be in great shape come Friday. So let's talk about what's going into these things. This is what you're going to be looking at in Google Classroom. You're going to be typing in your hypothesis and your prediction into these 2 boxes here, and this link is how you found this video. If you need the instructions that I'm about to show you, you need to click on the second link right here and go and get the instructions. I do have some paper copies of this in class, but I didn't hand them out because it's 6 pages long and that's a lot of paper. If you would prefer to work digitally, by all means, make a copy of this, do your highlighting and underlining and note-taking on this piece of paper as you watch, or I guess this link, as you watch this video. So if you need to pause right now and pull up that document, please pause. Okay, so now we're going to go over to the actual instructions. So the instructions for this are quite long, like I said, 6 pages, but I'm going to point out the highlights, the things that you need to know. First thing is that hypothesis and prediction are not the same thing. We've talked about this in class quite a bit, but it's been a little while, so it's worth bringing back up. They aren't the same. A hypothesis is the thing that tells the world, this is what I think the big explanation is. Why is this observation happening? Your prediction is what you think is going to happen in your actual experiment. So hypothesis is more big picture, procedure is much more specific to your actual experiment. For a hypothesis, there are 2 basic rules. Hypotheses have to be testable and falsifiable. So the example that I'm using here is, let's say that you want to test the idea that there are no black swans in existence. Well, this is falsifiable because all you would have to do is find a single black swan, and then you falsified it. It's also testable. You just go and search. But if you wanted to do this one, and we talked about this one in class, pink elephants exist. Well, this is harder to disprove because you would have to be able to search everywhere at once in order to prove that that's not true. At this point, the next 3 requirements are probably already taken care of just because I've looked at your ideas and either accepted them or not. Anything that's based on opinion, anything that is based on the supernatural, or anything that is unethical is not a valid hypothesis. But like I said, you've probably already got these taken care of just through the approval process. For the hypothesis examples, there are 2 here that you should read through carefully, but they are both testable and falsifiable. And the hypothesis rubric below that is something that you should be checking also. The hypothesis isn't worth a ton of points on your science fair, so that's why the rubric is pretty short. Now onto the prediction. Once you've written your hypothesis and you know what basic general idea you're going to be testing, your prediction is in line with your procedure. So you may actually even want to go and do some thinking about your procedure. How are you going to actually do your testing before you write your prediction? But it's in this video if you already have a general idea of how you're going to test it. Most of you, I think, do. So you can either predict that your hypothesis is basically going to be supported or that your hypothesis is going to be rejected. Either way, it doesn't really matter. The prediction has no value judgment on you as a scientist. If your prediction turns out to be incorrect, who cares? If your prediction turns out to be correct, great. It doesn't really matter at all. Nobody really cares in the scientific world if your prediction was right or not. It's mostly a place for you to show that you are thinking thoroughly about what you're going to be doing. And so the because sentence needs to be based on research. This is the part that I'm looking at the most closely. I want to see if you are predicting something based in reality, based in research, and show me that you're a semi-expert, that you've done your research review, and that you at least understand your topic. And your prediction is going to kind of show that to me. So back to the ant example, there's a couple of examples here of a good prediction. Please notice that it doesn't follow the format that you might be used to from other grades necessarily. If you are comfortable with the if, then, because format, by all means keep it up. It's not a wrong format, it's just you can branch out of that if you're ready for something a little bit more interesting to read, which I hope that you are. So there are two different examples of a prediction here. Please notice that the because statements are based on research. They are showing me through their predictions that they get the topic and that they've done some research, that they understand that, for example, this one, that markers have chemicals in them, and those chemicals are what causes things to smell, and that ants and humans have organs that are attracted to sugar. Things like that show me that they've done their research. Some particularly bad examples are below. I've chosen to put these in there because they show some pretty common mistakes, and I explain in this text what those mistakes are. You should definitely read through that as well. Finally, the prediction rubric is below. It's also pretty low point value, just like the hypothesis, and that's why the rubric is pretty short. After watching this video, you should now be moving on to the procedure video, which is also in Google Classroom. Please find that one there.